The inaugural Premiers Cup, which has been a 4-round competition played between premiers or grand finalists from the VFA, the Victorian Country Football Association, the Victorian Amateurs and the Metropolitan Football League. And after 3 weeks of knockout competition, the grand finalists are Werribee and North Ballarat, yet to come out onto the ground. You're looking at a delayed telecast of the game played this morning at the Melbourne Cricket. In the team, all sons of a former North Ballarat great, Kevin. Chris Hills will start in the ruck for the thing, perhaps an unknown quantity.
Well, it doesn't matter how you rate them, it's how you play on the day, isn't it? And we're expecting to be a very, very determined side today and take it right up to Werribee.
What do you think the strengths of North Ballarat are?
I think it'll be our running players, and we've got a couple of really good marking players around the ground. Plus our attitude, you know, they've got a great attitude, these kids, and that's the main thing that we've got. And, you know, they're very, very willing to do well here today.
And this is the team they'll be playing against, Werribee. This is the team that was in the paper. A lot of changes there as well. Linton Fitzpatrick is out with a back injury. Andrew Button comes into full back. Nick Walsh is not on interchange as he was named in the press. He's got a hamstring injury. Damien Drum at full forward. He's been the star of the... And North Ballarat going from left to right. Really no wind advantage. And they're wearing the black shorts. They won the toss. Guernsey's pretty similar. North getting it forward first, bit of body work in there, and it's Werribee who get it forward. Oh, good mark pulled in by Hennessy there. Difficult one, the ball floating over his shoulder and he pulled it in. The only farmer I hear in the North Ballarat side. Ball spills off to Lewis. Kick's got plenty of carry on it. Better judge behind the pack there was Hunt, couldn't take it with him though. Buttons shoots the handball out. Good diving piece of play there. Putting his body in was for North Ballarat, Travis Polkinghorne. Now doing the ruck work here will be White. He doesn't get there in time. McMaster for the Bees. Remembering that Werribee playing with wings for the first time, and a great tackle there from John Polkinghorne. Sam, what do you think about that, going to 18 man aside in VFA football this year as we look at Polkinghorne wrapping up? Player there was Dion Sheehan, new player for Werribee with that tackle. There's Sheehan.
Yes, Pete, I was about to allude to that. You're going to see a marked contrast to the football that we've witnessed over the preceding 4 or 5 years. 18 aside, a lot more congestion, body contact, and the players won't find the gaps that were prevalent in previous years. So they've got to get boot the ball very quickly.
Mark taken by Caius Ryan there. Ball knocked away by Morgan. Oh, chance here for Werribee. Quick hands onto Darren Morgan. Little chip into the square, more than a shot, I think. Yeah, on the left foot, and he couldn't really get the distance. First score up for the Bees.
Yes, and Darren Morgan, one of Werribee's prime movers, along with McMaster, who has already got a possession. Richie Rayburn. Fraser Murphy, of course, the former Carlton small man. They're the players that they'll be looking forward to at the base of the packs.
Players having trouble holding their footage all day, couldn't hold his mark. They're looking very competitive, though, the Roosters early on. And making the ball bounce up to him was John Orr. Shoots the ball to Lewis. Quick hands off to Buckley from 50. No score. Free kick for out on the full to Werribee. I'm sure he would have liked to slotted that one, Gary.
Yeah, I'm sure Jimmy's probably a little bit disappointed that he never put that through, but, well, it's only early at this stage.
Could be a free kick to North Ballarat. Yes. Just jumping in there was Michael Ryan, number 40. Werribee think they've got the free, but Sheehan won't take it. It's taken by Hines. 70 metres out. His teammate is another 10 metres away. This is Hills driving to the edge of the square. Man in front should be paid. And the ball pulled down by a former North Ballarat player in Glenn Wilkins. His father is treasurer at the club. So no divided loyalties, though, I guess, Gary.
No, I would imagine that Bill's probably a little bit toey today with his son out there playing against his old club.
And, of course, the treasurer of either club will be very happy at the end of this Premiers Cup.
More importantly, a 50-metre penalty. Indiscretion by North Ballarat.
Lesser Putty at half forward. Running hard is Geary to forward flank. He slowed it up, waiting for Button to offer something. A Drum is there too. Ball to ground. Michael Ryan, a couple of Ryans out there. Here is number 40. There's Drum with the ball as Michael Ryan gets up off the beautiful carpet here at the MCG. It's still a fast outfield, you could say. Werribee in attack. Clear as Troon for North Ballarat. Rayburn possibly should have done a bit better there, Sam.
Yes, a lot better there. He just had that extra second to steady. And Gary, they're largely an unknown quantity to a lot of us, the North Ballarat players, but any side coached by Jim Buckley certainly can't be underestimated. On the score of grit and resolve, they'll certainly be ultra competitive, I would imagine, during the course of the afternoon.
They certainly will be, Sam. They haven't got a lot of well-known players, but they're certainly a very competitive side, and they do all the hard things, which is most important in football.
Kennedy getting the ball in. Polkinghorne putting the body in there. Handball out from May. Eames, the Liston medalist. Plenty of Werribee players here. Now Lesapati looking to screw the ball back to the edge of the square. Decides in the end to have a shot. And he scored. A behind. Werribee 3 behinds. North Ballarat yet to score.
Yeah, poor percentage in that play, Peter. You picked the right option, the centering. I realised there was nothing.
There was nothing for him.
There was nothing there, but still.
And the Werribee bench with Robbie Morris closest to screen. All day trying to fist away, but in front. Mark going to
the smaller man.
Yes.
Roscoe, and what a very good grab it was as well. By Madigan, I think it was.
Madigan out there, 60 metres from goal. He's going to land 20 metres out. Over the back was Drum. Morgan pouncing on it, but Troon will clear for North Ballarat. Out to half back. Werribee through Ryan. Nice test by Eames. Clear. Spears a pass into the pocket to Morgan. He's left unattended on his wrong kicking foot though, Sam.
Yes, but he is very proficient kick, Darren Morgan. You can see the marked contrast to previous years, Ross. All of a sudden, the gaps that were prevalent in previous years are no longer there.
Even on the MCG.
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful kick. Just offside. Offline.
4 points there to Werribee.
Well, they seem to be monopolising possession around the base of the packs at the moment, Gary. Must be a bit of concern for North Ballarat.
Yeah, one thing I've also noticed, Sam, is that a few of the North guys seem to be slipping around a bit, so I hope they've got the right choice of boots on today.
Well, just as you say that, Hills goes down. This is it's almost like a bowling green as Geary's caught well. And there is Cushion, who took the mark of the year last week when Vermont were having a shot for goal to win the game. He went up about 4 stories to make sure that North Ballarat got here to the final. Fiddler knocking the ball to the boundary line. He's knocked over by Spearings. He loses his footing too, Gary. I don't know which they have, the long stops or you see the player over the ball there.
Yeah, he's got
White
those grass cutters on.
Do you think that's the way to go?
Well, the grass has been cut very short, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
It was very spongy when we walked on it. Beautiful surface.
Inboard. Button it was. Out to Geary. Eames again. That left foot gets him out of trouble. Geary. And Werribee in a spot of bother. Ryan under pressure. Geary keeps running hard. Chased by 3 North Ballarat players. Boundary line a bit close.
Yes, the handling, a lot of handling mistakes being made by both sides at the moment. The added congestion obviously marring Werribee's thrusts.
Interchange bench for North Ballarat. Madigan, Grant Polkinghorne, Knowles and McInerney. McMaster putting the tackle in there.
Well, of course, the 18er side also, Peter, puts the umpires under a lot more pressure. There's going to be a lot more decisions to adjudicate upon.
Of course, the umpires now coming out of the one pool, so they're used to it. As Rayburn look to Eames, instead passes over the head of Alderdice. The knock on to Morgan. Terrific play. It's a goal. Opening goal for the Bees. And Morgan goes back upfield to congratulate the man responsible for the knock-on. It was Damien Drum.
Gee, that was a magical piece of play, Gary. Unselfish team play.
Absolutely magnificent, Sam. They're the sort of goals that you can practice that much at training. You see their Drum, magnificent knock on there to Morgan, who just runs straight in on the left foot, looks over his shoulder, plenty of time and no mistake.
These two would have played together at Geelong here on the MCG.
They would have had a number of games, I would imagine, together, Pete.
Back at centre field. And Eames again, very prominent. Now North Ballarat through Hines. High one into the pocket, pushing and shoving Normington. Over the back, Fiddler. That was a great grab.
It was a great grab, Ross. Gary, I don't know much about this guy, but obviously he's a forward of some note to be able to take a mark like that.
Yeah, Sam, he plays in the either on the ball or down in the forward line when he's having a rest. Last year in last year's grand final against ourselves, he kicked 7 goals, and look at that magnificent mark over the back.
Whistle took a while to come, though.
No, certainly did.
Thumps it hard and straight, it looks. Right.
Well, they are costly, especially early doors when they're striving to acquire a degree of confidence to get themselves going. It, you know, just has such a detrimental effect on the whole side.
Gee, Sammy was really going to put that over the Ponsford stairs.
Well, there was nothing wrong with the execution, kicking through the ball. What do you want him to dribble it through like they do in the amateurs, Ross? Should you? I realise you've suffered your 40th, but you're not surely getting a bit senile.
No, it's taken 10 minutes, Sam.
Here we are up in the members, looking down on the MCG and the Great Southern Stand. Well, it's filling. Sure, there'll be a big crowd here by the 3rd and 4th quarters. Terrific kick-in finds Eames.
He's been very prominent, Peter.
Didn't have a great grand final, Sam,
No.
I didn't think, last year. So, as you often see after someone's won a big individual award, as Lesapati flew high. Raving at Fraser Murphy, his first kick. Not such a good one on the left foot. Driven forward by Cushion. Plenty of length in the kick too. Ball is certainly carrying here today. Werribee at the fall of the ball again. North Ballarat better position. A little push from Hills to help himself out there.
I don't know what your views are, Gary, but I feel North Ballarat are probably playing a better game in terms of directness. Werribee are winning a lot more of the possession, but squandering a number of opportunities by persistently being too short.
Yeah, I think both sides are probably taking a little bit of time to settle down, Sam. I think that there's probably that feel-out period, and at this stage they're just taking that little bit of time to settle down, and hopefully they'll be able to get something going shortly. John Northey.
He'll be actually in action right at this moment because there's a delayed telecast.
John Northey's a Ballarat boy, of course, so he'll have... he lives where?
Great interest.
Up Sebastian Way, I think, somewhere, does he?
Yeah, well, look, John's been a great Ballarat person, and, you know, I just wish him all the best today.
Eames again and Rayburn trying to get out his oar for North Ballarat. Buckley in the thick of things too. It's tough, fighting hard. McCarthy, now Werribee, up towards Drum. First hands on it, quick recovery, in comes Murphy.
Oh.
Kennedy in trouble behind the ball. Murphy, bit of space now.
Gee, that was bad luck. Yeah, there was a free kick. There's no question about that. By Drum, somewhat a crude shepherd, but gee, did very well, allowing Murphy to gain possession.
Player showing out is David May for Werribee, newcomer. Haven't seen any crisp handling, but there's May shooting the ball out. Oh, almost a trip. McMaster had nowhere to go. They are really putting the pressure on North Ballarat. Charging at it is Wilkins. Very clever kicking and no room to move, but he found Geary.
Geary on centre wing. In front. Fist away from Allardyce. McMaster trying to keep it in, almost did so. Morgan thought he did. But, Darren Morgan.
Hasn't taken North Ballarat to adopt the Buckley tray. Tackling and smothering. Has an unsettling effect on Werribee at the moment.
And there is Jimmy Buckley. Quick kick. Intercepted. Eames will have to fly. Late on the scene, Drum. Lesapati trying to rove it. Buckley with good work off the ball.
McCarty.
And McCarty long to half forward. Hunt. And the free kick going to Dion Sheehan. And the new boys for Werribee at half-back.
Good distance on the kick, and there's Craig Allardyce. Handing it off to Geary. Oh, Eames on his own. He could have gone for Lesaput if he'd wanted to. But Eames it was, and yes, I think advised to have a shot rather than passing into the pocket.
Kicking from about 48, Peter. He's a very good kick, Eames.
No wind to worry about. Fourth kick for the Liston medalist. And there's his coach looking on. Ball swings across the face, won't score.
Up here we see Geary pick out Allardyce, who was unattended. And from 45, the big fellow drills it through for Werribee's second. Good pass.
Now that's Madigan as interchange takes place. Dallas Normington looks to be hobbling a little bit On comes Darryl Taylor, who kicked 6 off the bench last week in the second half against Dandenong in that semi-final. Polkinghorne pops the ball high. There's a heap of Roosters here. Or getting some good shepherding from Hines. Goes to Fiddler.
Beautiful pass.
He seems to be the man they're trying to pick up. Now he squares. Good play to Buckley. Well, Buckley's a man they're not picking up.
No, Jimmy's drifting down into the forward line there, and Werribee's going to have to be a little bit careful. A couple of times there the ball's been rebounded back quickly, and North's now got an opportunity through their veteran, Jimmy Buckley.
This is his 7th kick. He slots this one, and the difference is 7 points in favour of Werribee. No mistake. North Ballarat
up, loses possession though. Werribee forward through Lesaputty. Drum there, hands on it. Rayburn, strength, dribbles it forward, just wrong side of the post. Richie Rayburn just not able to finish off there.
all day, got the ball down to Madigan. Rayburn trying to slip Travis Polkinghorne. Clever kick around the body, but Buckley's everywhere at the moment.
Certainly led by example, Peter.
Yeah, he's got a bit of spring back in his step, I think. He led North Ballarat to victory last year, depriving Gary Hodge's team of 3 in a row, East Ballarat. Now Lewis. Oh, kept his feet well. Got the ball off to Hennessy. Drives to centre half forward. Spearing's under a heap of pressure. Oh, clever football, John Polkinghorne. Bad luck, that deserved a goal.
Yeah, that one.
Sheehan follows up well the hand pass. Wide looking forward. Drum just beats him. Rayburn there, but leaves it for Drum. Tries to fend off his man, does so. Into McMaster. Good shot at goal as McMaster. And he kicks the 3rd goal for Werribee. A quick reply in the Premier's Cup first quarter.
Murphy chips the ball, and Drum couldn't get down low enough to take the slips catch. Ball onto the running Ryan.
I think
We've got a Madigan playing for either's team.
Nice and confusing. John Northey. Furrowed brow already.
Do you think he's worrying about how North Ballarat are playing here or what might happen later against Geelong for Melbourne? As Geary squares. Alderdice, is it? He's pulled it down. Good hands. It's Taylor. This is Taylor, sorry, who has been playing in Darwin and has just come straight down, hopped into the Werribee team, and, well, he'd certainly be one of the fittest out there, I'm sure, having played up in the humidity there. Kicked 6 after half-time last week, and kicking from about 45 metres directly in front for Werribee's 4th. Pretty awkward. Bounce to Drum was lucky. He was still being held onto there. He wrestles the ball out towards Rayburn. No doubting the enthusiasm endeavour of North Ballarat, but they're besieged at the moment. Didn't like the intention he got there, Troon, from I think it was Drum, and he's got the free kick. Did you spot that one?
Yeah. The umpire like it.
He's a cheeky little rover, is Michael Troon. He certainly lets you know if you're not going too well.
Well, it was a very soft free kick, that.
Back pocket. Polkinghorne in front, number 9. 2 spoils there.
Players, whatever. It's going to a good cause, and well, $250,000. A big commitment by the government here.
Big purse, Pete. Just don't know where it's coming from, that's all.
All day to within 40 metres of goal. Morgan out to Lesaputty. Good smother. It was Polkinghorne who put his body in initially, and there's a good mark taken by Ryan.
Perhaps Tri-Continental might have had a contingency somewhere, Peter, they couldn't unearth. They're fouled.
Well, you're going to be non-political, Sam.
Yeah, that's right.
In front of the great Southern Stand.
There goes Kennedy with the fist. Good body use there by Fraser Murphy. Ryan got the ball back from McMaster. They're having to work hard for an opportunity here, Werribee. Oh, taken away by Ryan. Oh, difficult shot for Fraser Murphy.
Been pretty good. just been a few little small facets of the game that's sort of letting them down at this stage. Mainly their switch-over period from when they've got it to when the opposition's got it. But, you know, there's still 3 quarters to go, and they've certainly shown that they're going to be competitive. So, you know, Jimmy's probably just laying a few home truths there to a few of them. And you can see there Werribee's into attack again already.
And they're being beaten hands down in the ruck too. Hills just doesn't seem to be able to match it with all day. Clever knocked through there to Ryan. Buckley. Pretty open looking forward line, and Buckley goes right down the middle. Is it Orr floating down there?
That's
Good
better.
mark.
That's much better play. That's the value of being able to get the ball and kick it long there, Sam. And it was a beautiful kick by Jimmy Buckley. And Johnny Orr obviously knows Jimmy well enough to know that he can kick the ball a long way and just headed straight towards the goals.
Well, Jimmy summed the situation up to a nicety, Gary. He saw there was nothing offering short, so opted for the long kick where the percentages were, and Orr took a very courageous mark, running backwards. Looks a likely customer, this guy. I'd like to meet him down a dark alley. And
you just can't afford to miss those, Sam. And Johnny Orr, you know, he's one of the veterans at North Ballarat. He's kicked over 400 goals in his career, and he'll be most disappointed that he's let the boys down.
just the boon they were looking for, a goal in the opening stages.
Gee, it would have really settled him down too, I'm sure. Mark almost pulled in off the face by Dion Sheehan. McMaster. There's a putty, up after it again. Body put in. Drum. Has he got the pace to get in front of Kennedy? He pushes him out of the way and gives away the free kick. Advantage played. Troon. Here's Orr free. Polkinghorne on his inside. Orr can have another 2 or 3 bounces if he wants to. Goes short to Fiddler. They might lose the advantage here. It's allowed Werribee down to pick up men. Fiddler is fiddling. But it's paid off. Lewis. Yes, he's given the free, I think, for in the back.
Yeah, I thought that free kick.
The left footer is true. So that's a good start to the term for North Ballarat. Wes Lewis, the brother of Dale Lewis, who played Fitzroy. And the push coming from Sheehan.
Yeah, just
Mark
a little.
could have never been paid, I don't know.
Just
I don't think the mark should have been paid. I don't think the free kick should have been paid on replay.
Just a little nudge in the back there, I think, Sam.
Confirming your view that they're a bit compassionate, Sam.
Yes. Thanks, Roscoe.
Sharing in, caring and sharing competition, the Premier's Cup.
By Keith Callaghan.
Better leap.
Won by Hills that time. So Michael Hines go the Roosters. North Ballarat in the way, Spearings. Ooh, he got one around the chin area. Barry Spearings spent some time at Footscray. Back to the Bees. To half forward over Alderdice's head. Coming out for the Roosters is Knowles. Polkinghorne underneath it. One is. And down goes Dale Waldron. Fiddler takes the advantage. Polkinghorne almost looked to be tackled, but just got clear. Up to Lewis. And within kicking distance.
Well, they're using the ball very well, North Ballarat, and they're managing to have numbers at the fall of the ball. Players working a lot harder, better constitution.
Those smaller forwards are starting to move around a little bit more now too, Sam. John Orr and Lewis and that, they're covering a bit of area now, and you know, they're starting to cause the Werribee players a few headaches.
Coming back,
That's
maybe.
a great goal.
Yes, he's got it. He's second in the quarter in about a minute. So where's Lewis?
Might give them just the spur on that they need.
Yes, and some poor tackling by Werribee. Manhandling.
Yes, and
You can see Polkinghorne coming through there.
Been a good player, Polkinghorne. Teddy Hopkins.
well, Sam, Jimmy Buckley did have a go at him. Running well, Eames. Good attacking play from Eames. Gets around his man. 40 metres from goal. Sets sail for them and kicks it. Beautiful play, Anthony Eames. And Werribee looking good on the rebound. Good
Individual effort by Anthony Eames. Took the opposition on. Good play by Murphy in midfield. Relaying the ball on. Been quite...
It was. Robbie Morris on the right. Normington in the middle. Doesn't seem too perturbed about his knee. That's okay. McMaster around the corner. Alderdice. Well,
Taylor
it was, I'm sorry. Thought he held it. Murphy trying to get clear. And got the one just around the neck.
Well, the hand did go over the shoulder, Gary, but you thought it was a bit soft, did you?
Yeah, I really didn't think there was a great deal in it,
But you felt the one at the other end was all right, Gary, did you?
yeah, I don't know whether I'm sort of showing a bit of bias there or what.
What's it like barracking for the opposition?
Whatever, Sam.
How long have you resided in Ballarat, by the way?
Most of my life.
Fraser Murphy.
And the diminutive Carlton Rover has...
Former missed.
Gee.
In the middle. Spotted McMaster out wide. Bill's number 5. Pretty
great play.
rough and ready on Ryan, and doesn't even impede him for a second. There's a putty front position. No, it's Taylor.
All the dice. Is it Taylor?
Yeah, we'll get him right, Sam. He's got a good pair of hands, this fellow. And a good pickup for Werribee. Darryl Taylor.
Well, of course, he came from Werribee and then went up there
right.
for the summer. But his last kick was awful, but I think remember, he's a very good kick. Let's see if he can make up for it. Well, long, but no accuracy.
Perhaps the backdrop may have something to do with it coming from Darwin. I don't think they have the stands surrounding the grounds in Darwin like they have here, Roscoe. Bit off-putting.
Not too many like this in VFA grounds either, Sam.
Got a new stand there. Murphy, little man. There's Polkinghorne of the Grant variety at the bottom of the pack.
Well, I think Werribee's pattern of play is quite clear now. Just drive the ball long. They've got the tools up there. They're in form. No need to fiddle around with it.
Hines on the lead is
He
Taylor
does
into
endorse
the
that.
pocket. Oh, got his hands. Should have held it. Fraser Murphy with pace. High one. Lesser putty. In front. Oh, brought it in. Not paid by the umpire. And then a good tackle by Morgan. Rayburn trying to barge his way through. He's holding the ball a long time, and likewise is penalised. Well, at least they're consistent.
Yeah, that was a good decision.
Hennessy clears out to Lewis.
What's offering?
Oh,
Buckley in the middle. He's going to be held up. Sheehan can't hold him up for too long, though. There's another player losing his footing. North Ballarat go defensive. It comes off to Orr, who's missed another one.
well, he also missed a punt.
Oh, what about the option further afield in the form of Colin Hunt? On his own in the square.
Yes, I'm sure Colin might just let young Ori know about that one later on.
Situation a bit overawed at the moment.
Good one, Sam. Did you mean that punt? Overawed? Wish I'd thought of that. Geary, lovely kick. Oh, Eames took it a bit easy. Nowhere to go for Knowles. He's battling on there.
It's a tough,
Geary.
uncompromising type, Gary. No.
Yeah, he's just straight ahead player, Sam. Not a lot of frills about him, but he just goes straight at it.
Up by Callaghan. Fell to a ruck with All Day. All Day won that one. Ooh, and down goes McMaster. Picked up by John Polkinghorne. High one. Button trying to spoil.
Perhaps may have been legged, Ross.
Yes, possibly, Sam. Wilkins a hand pass. Werribee on the break, into space. To Michael Ryan's been very impressive as a new player for Werribee. Morgan waited for it. Trying to put pressure on his Ryan. Morgan on his wrong foot. Centering kick, McMaster. Looking for the hand pass. Lovely smother by Polkinghorne. Off the ground by Hines. Ryan putting the tackle on. And finally Werribee through Morgan to half forward. That's all at ice. Drum good gather. Feeds it out. Rayburn. Eames. Oh, well tackled. Still in with the possession of the Bees. Ricky Knight on off interchange. He's got a little push by John Polkinghorne. Rayburn, but they can't get the space they're accustomed to. Drum. Every time there's a man there, or two. No easy kicks. Rayburn forced to go deep into the pocket. Lesser putty, loose ball, Murphy. But still, North Ballarat showing great persistence. Rayburn with it. And it's just a matter of pressure. It's almost to a standstill. Drum into the square. And finally, here's a chance for Andrew Madigan. Over to War. He spotted a man in Lewis who runs in and kicks his third for the quarter. That was good play by the Roosters.
Yeah, displayed a coolness under pressure. I thought for one fleeting moment that Orr was going to snap, but he displayed good vision on this occasion. Here we see.
He might have heard you after that last time, Sam, when he didn't give it to Colin Hunt, but that...
He'd be in there for the Dyer medal too, I think. And the numbers to the Tigers here. Ryan might run within range and have a shot. 55 out.
Ooh.
Oh, against cushion, I think. The mark will be paid anyway.
Yeah, the inches told the story there. Big Allardyce dropping back into the square.
Well, Taylor hasn't kicked a goal yet.
Oh, Taylor. Allardyce getting them mixed up continually.
18 and 28, Sam. And 28 is Taylor.
They said you couldn't count, Sam.
Wasn't one of my strengths, accountancy, Ross, yes.
So, as has been the case all quarter, the North Ballarat goals have been answered very quickly by Werribee. That's Taylor's first.
I think it's probably been the story of the match. They've always seemed to have the answers, Werribee. Just as North Ballarat appear to be clawing their way back into the game, Werribee just steady. And they just have that extra bit of class in the form of, on this occasion, in the form of Taylor. If it's not Taylor, they've got Drum or...
It's Werribee leading, going from right to left in this third quarter. Ryan gets the first clear possession of the quarter. Taking the mark, McMaster. Eyes one way, handball the other. Good one to Morgan, who was well caught by Hills. North Ballarat have the numbers. It's Travis Polkinghorn. Now it's Werribee's turn to outnumber their opponents. Came off Madigan. Eames caught well by Lewis. Oh, North on the rebound. Buckley, oh, unlucky as he's dropping the ball to his foot. Tackle. Werribee. Sheehan spearing the ball through there to Rayburn. Dropped a few marks in the first half. Got that one. Not a good handball tonight. May. Bounce pass back there to Rayburn. Hit well by Polkinghorn. Knock on to Fiddler. North can't get it forward, though. That's a free kick for Buckley. Buckley in front of Hennessy. He'll let the ball run. Ball spills out of the hands of Madigan. That was Grant Polkinghorn's kick, repelled by May for Werribee. One of their new players, David May, out of the open spaces on the members' wing. Hines.
It's been a very sloppy opening, Peter, the opening couple of minutes. A lot of handling mistakes, poor disposal. And I just get the impression if Werribee can get one or two quick ones, you know, North Ballarat could just about fall apart.
Wilkins finds Lesapati. Doesn't waste any time. Gives it to Murphy. Let's see what his toe's like early on in the season. Oh, he's taken out of it without the footy. They had to stop him, I think, by foul means or fair. Foul.
Foul.
Picked up there by Caius Ryan for the free kick. Fraser Murphy. A little bit away from match fitness, I think. First season with the Werribee Tigers. Good goal kicker in league football. Not such a good kick so far for Werribee. A shocker, in fact. Goes Ryan with the fist. Ricky Knight running onto it with Jim Buckley. There's a bit of a contrast. Ricky Knight saying before the game, this is the first time I've ever walked on the MCG, let alone played here. A different kettle of fish with Buckley, who finds a teammate up ground. Now John Polkinghorn, 50 out. Throw in about 20 metres around from the North Ballarat goal. No goals kicked yet in the term, no score, and we've played 2.5 minutes.
It was a better build-up then, Peter, by North Ballarat, but unfortunately John Polkinghorn had to swing on the left foot, and instead of centering the ball, his kick was a little bit off.
Dallas Normington's knee, the back pocket, having an unfortunate start to the season. He'll be missed. He was looking to be in good touch too, as Sheehan whips over the hand pass to Ricky Knight, and now he has a good look at the MCG. Over centre wing to half forward, Allardyce lumbering after it, chased by Chris Hills. 2-on-1, Allardyce with support. Well, paddle. Intercepted by Knowles. Fiddler now in defence. They've moved one of their key men back there to counter the tools of Werribee. But he had to kick under pressure into the great southern stand. Ball still comes back. Allardyce About 70 metres from goal. In front towards Drum. Just too strong for Paul Kennedy.
Superior judgment and reading of the game and reading of the ball. Ross positioned himself extremely well. A wonderful work ethic, a wonderful constitution. He really does put his body in. His strengths of feature, strong overhead, brings other players into the game. The best man on the ground, arguably to this stage of the game, Anthony Eames. Wonderful skills, and he really, and I don't want to say this slightly, but Anthony Eames has really displayed a lot of courage today. He's always been a courageous player. Matthew Ryan, well, you know now why the Hawks have put him on his list. He's a wonderful talent and an exciting prospect. Once again, Drum
flew for another mark like that a few minutes later and has corked his thigh, and I think is off more as a precaution than anything, because he's shown so much today that they'd want him fit for next week, I'm sure.
Oh,
Drum,
sure.
I don't think's really overextended himself today.
No, he's probably played within himself, but what he's done has been all class and been of immense value. Lesaputty's been superb across the half-forward line. He's been a tower of strength. And just briefly, let me just elaborate on Anthony Eames. He's probably been a bit critical because he's been a little bit soft previously. But, you know, I've been extremely impressed with his courage in running hard at the ball, you know, throwing his body in. And it's been a tremendous asset. The kid, you know, really has got a lot of ability. Taylor, what a wonderful second option for the side to have it up forward. You know, he's a tremendous forward guy for Drum. Knight coming into the play, they could afford that option. Of course, big Allardyce there.
That was
some scintillating ground play. As you said, strength either side of the body, left and right foot. And of course, the beauty of this guy that I like is extremely physical. Creates a lot of opportunities as well.
He's waiting for the ball to come forward. But it's blocked in there, locked in there in centre field. Advantage paid. Hines again towards the pocket, looking for Hunt. May twisting and turning. Ooh, and, there's a high one to Andrew Madigan.
No, he's being paid the free. Dropped that simple chest mark actually before, so better do something positive and constructive to redeem himself.
He's got options short, but he's not fancy on those.
Can he kick long, Gary? Or extra long, I should say. He's about 70 out.
Yeah, I don't know whether he can kick that long, Sam.
It's a big ask. Who's there? Hunt in
Not
front.
a bad kick, though.
And he's got
a good mark. That's good too, because Colin Hunt has got his hands to quite a few today, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to take them. But that one on the juggled effort, now he's going to be shooting for goal about 7 metres out. And hopefully he'll kick it, and has.
You didn't lay your cards on the table too early there, Gary.
Well, there have been a few misses that normally even the North Ballarat guys, you know, they just wouldn't miss. So it's good to see that finally they were able to get that one.
Well, they've kicked 4 goals in the quarter, having 4 at three-quarter time against Werribee's 10. There's the Werribee bunch.
Well, Roscoe, with this game being a foregone conclusion, Melbourne or Geelong?
Probably the viewers know what the result is.
Exactly,
probably the watchers said.
121 points. Just playing the last rights, 24 minutes gone. Madigan over the ball there. Out it went to Wilkins. Rayburn, I think he's got better as the game's gone on, Richie Rayburn. McCarthy was running onto the ball for North Ballarat. When Wilkins won't get there in time, he'd be happy, I think, even though he is a former North Ballarat player with the team he finds himself with. He could be heading towards great honours this year if Werribee can go one better than last season.
Sam, Phil Stevens, the general manager of the VAFA, was just asking where the AW box was, because you've got to find out who the man of the match is to run it over the other side. So he doesn't know. Perhaps we could suggest someone. Yes, Hines intercepts. Direct kick to half forward.
So unfortunately we may be off air, I think, before we learn who is the official man of the match, the winner of the Dyer medal. The important thing is that Werribee will have won the Premier's Cup. As Geary chips into Morris. A standing start, he goes to Drum. Kennedy again has the defensive sit. Rayburn, the rover, caps it off. Oh, classy goal. He had to be quick, and I thought early on he was dropping marks and perhaps not finding his mark with his handball, but gee, after about halfway through the second quarter, he has been very positive, Richie Rayburn.
27
right,
possessions.
Yeah, terrific day's work, afternoon's work. And Peter, I think we should also let the viewers know that we're not picking the man of the match this afternoon. That responsibility has gone to...
I think 3AW.
Shane Healy.
Shane Healy.
I'd like to know why.
Oh, that's a good question.
Actually, I've got a bit peeved by that. Well, I am.
We've had a good day, Sam. That's
we've had a super day, but I would like to have had the full compliment.
He's power hungry, I think. Just
No,
well, he's
I'm
not
not.
running against Phil out there at Wills. It would be a bloodbath, I think.
We've got 2 football sides out there already. Couldn't have any more.
Yes.
In short to back. Or on the mark. He's gone quiet in the second half. Bit of a stop-start footy. Coming late, Taylor. Through Buckley's hands. Colin Hunt. Knight brings the ball in, keeps it in front of him. Murphy left it behind. McInerney out to John Polkinghorne. And Orr now got some space at half forward. He'll come back onto that left foot. He's decided to take his time and punt for goal. John Orr yet to notch a major. So you tick up 2 minutes at a time on. Looks good off the boot, John Orr. And a ripple of applause from the MCG for the support for the Roosters.
A wonderful kick, Gary, wasn't it?
Yeah, John Orr, trusty left footer, and he's kicked well over 400 goals in his career with North Ballarat. But
Quite happy with it?
Yeah, very, very happy.
I'm glad he kicked it too, because I'm sure he looked back. If this is the only time Gary, no, he's going to pop it over the top. No, it's Taylor. Oh, nice one on the run.
Well, you wouldn't get any easier.
And Dandenong. You never know, Werribee could be on the way towards raising that disappointment this season. They
next
face
week
up.
again.
No, they won't do it next week, but the week after they face up to Dandenong will be live with VFA football from the 11th of April as Orr chips for another goal. Good shepherding on the line. John Orr gets his second of the term, and North Ballarat, to their credit, have fought it right out, kicked 7 goals in this last quarter. I won't mention the fact that Werribee have kicked 13 at the same time, but a feast for the fans here. Orr
Good play there,
showing us what he's made of, I think, this last quarter.
Nice little balk there, and just ran on outside 50, and that's not a bad kick either. And well shepherded by young Mannigan too. He's only a youngster, and you know, as I said before, some of these younger guys will the experience they'll get out of this will be invaluable.
Well, under a minute towards the end of our telecast, hopefully we'll get in the final siren, but it's been a commanding all-the-way win from Werribee. They led by 20 points at quarter-time, 34 at half-time, 84 points at three-quarter time. And they've ended up crushing a gallant North Ballarat side here.
It has been a good display.